How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. How you all doing? Good? I'm doing well, except I'm melting because it's really hot in my studio. It's like 34 degrees outside and there's a studio light on me. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about how Chelsea FC can play better as a team without Eden Hazard. Now, this is something I've talked about before in parts, but I kind of want to say it all in one video. Sort of, what's the word? Consolidate it, that's the word, for this video, and sort of, just sort of speak my opinions on perhaps some positives of his exit, which is weird, right? But there are some. Anyway, before we get into today's video, if you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notifications, please. And like the video and all that, helps me out and it means a lot. So obviously it's a bad thing, Chelsea losing Eden Hazard, because he's an amazing player and he loves Chelsea and he was the talisman and just a nice dude, like that's all obvious. So it's a bad thing, I want to get that straight. But there are a few reasons why Chelsea can actually develop in his absence. Right, starting with the inferiority complex. Now this is something again I've talked about in previous videos, but I want to sort of reiterate here. When Hazard plays at Chelsea FC, he was widely regarded as the most talented player in the Premier League, and obviously at Chelsea by probably quite some distance at Chelsea. And everyone knows that at Chelsea. All his fellow peers, players and whatever, they all know he's the best. He didn't go around saying I'm the best, even though he sort of did jokingly now and again. But he was constantly being told he's the best, and they were constantly being told he's the best. Now, it doesn't even matter on the player's disposition. They're going to naturally have an inferiority complex. I mean, look at Neymar. He's one of the best players in the world, and that messed him up so bad with Messi. His inferiority complex that he had to leave, and actually to his career's detriment, in my opinion. So that was going to inherently happen with Hazard's teammates. They all know he's better than them, and with that will lower their own self-confidence and self-belief. And also there's the element of the obligation to pass the ball to Hazard. When the system's failing, and the system might fail for another reason, what I'll get into in a second, give the ball to Hazard because you don't believe in yourself, and obviously he always wants the ball. Now Hazard's gone, that inferiority complex would have been lifted. So players might believe in themselves a bit more and back themselves to do the take on by themselves, or take the shot off, for just a few things like that. Willian's a good example. He'll be playing on the left now. He won't feel like such an inferior winger. He'll be able to cut in on his right. That's kind of like on a tangent a little bit, him playing in his positional, well, his favoured position, but he's an example. Other like wide forwards, maybe even attacking midfielders, will back themselves a little bit more, knowing the golden boy's gone and they can hopefully rise to the occasion. And all players are going to think that. It's not going to be like one guy, oh, it's my turn to, shine. Everyone's going to feel like together we can lift our game now. It's not like all going to be on Hudson-Odoi or all be on Willian, It's going to be like, right, he's gone, we believe in ourselves now, we're a unit. Let's, basically believe in yourselves more, and the inferiority complex gets lifted. Right, my second point is system failure. Now, this is going to sound a little bit paradoxical, but Hazard obviously was directly involved with 49% of Chelsea's goals last season, which was amazing. He 31 goal contributions, he was top for all, the majority of all stats in the league. Superb season, great individual season for Hazard, but individual season, right? What's really a salient point is, on that stat that I think Squawka or Opta put out, I forget, they showed it was basically all Hazard, 2 Jorginho, and the top scorers were like Salah, Mane and Aubameyang, and then Salah for most shots taken. Now, champions, Manchester City, were not in there at all for any of them. Now, you might think that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. That shows they're an amazing team and they distribute everything between them systemically and everything works, and that's why they're the best. Now, that's what any top tier team should be going for, right? So, Sarri, in his first Juventus press conference, I mean, remember he loved Hazard. He was always praising how amazing he was. He wanted to get him to get fucking 50 goals or whatever he was saying at the beginning, and he did love him, and he bailed Sarri out and arguably got Sarri his first trophy, or was a big part of it. I'm a fan of Sarri. I'm not saying it was all Hazard. I'm just saying Hazard was a big part of that. But Sarri said in his Juve presser, and quite rightly, a lot of Chelsea fans got the arse with this, but they needn't. He said about how Hazard essentially messed up his plans a lot of the time. Now that's true. Hazard's brilliant, but when, like I said, whether it's the inferiority complex or people feel obligated to pass the ball to Hazard because he's so good, the system fails. Now people need to persist with the plan and the system until it's obvious the system is failing, and a lot of the time fans might get frustrated thinking it's failing, but it's not. It's just not being executed appropriately or properly. Hazard didn't do what Sarri wanted. Now this pissed him off. It left Sarri in a weird place because he was like, well, he's taking the ball, he's doing amazing things and he's scoring goals, so I'll let him off. But he still had that lingering frustration. Hazard's one of those individuals that does break down the system. He doesn't want to track back. He wants to be a mercurial, creative, talented player that just does his own thing, which is fine. There's absolutely a space for that in the modern game. But it does hurt you systemically. And without that, with more people that are willing to just dig in and run the drills and do what the coach says, the system can work better, therefore the game plan can work better, that has been put together to take out the opponent that you're facing. So, in the absence of Hazard, the players that are left at Chelsea will all get their heads down and will generally play the system better. I mean, you'll still have people like Loftus-Cheek and maybe even Pulisic carrying the ball, people that will try something direct and a bit different under Lampard, which he'd be happy for them to do. But there'll be more working as a unit, and systematically things should work better. Other coaches have said it in the past, Sarri's just said it, and he really likes Hazard, he owes a lot to him, so that's just the way it is. So that's number 2. And my final points are kind of a little bit of a strange one. Hazard's so talented. For me, Frank Lampard is Chelsea's greatest ever player. But I think Hazard is Chelsea's most talented player that they've ever had, right? And with that comes things that Hazard wants to do instinctively. Like, he will pick up the ball, like I've said in the previous points, and try something, try some wizardry or whatever, like with the ball, and he'll try and constantly do 1-2s that won't come off. Basically, he wants that psychic connection with a certain player to execute these off-the-cuff moves that make moving away from the system for a moment worth it. Now, it did work for Chelsea a lot of the time, and I'm not saying you need like an 11 of Galacticos to make this work. Maybe if Chelsea did build the team around Hazard a little bit more, and even just had one more sort of world-class forward to work with him, that would have been better. The combinations would have been there, but there's a lot of frustration with Hazard when he tries these dummies, these flick-ons, or when he lets it run. And it doesn't pay off, essentially. If there was one more player to interchange to make that a bit more fruitful, and Hazard likes being, the creator, if there was someone to finish off those chances, it might have been a little bit more worthwhile, but Chelsea don't really have that. We have great talent in, like I said, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi, and, we're going to have good youth that want to play for the badge. But you really needed that sort of 1 or 2 other Galactico quality players for this individual brilliance to play off. So I think point 3 would be lacking quality to make Hazard's tricks worthwhile. I mean, it is worthwhile, that's what I mean by it being a bit of a paradox, because he did it so well. But him breaking down the system, if he had that one more star player to work with him, it would have been better. But because Chelsea are no longer, well, I say no longer, you could look back to the glory days when there were good players, but there isn't that Galactico quality. They have to work as more of a dogged, systemic team now, which could be, could work really well, but that's the way they have to look. And with Hazard being the 1-star attacking player, there was that breakdown. So I'll say lacking star quality, or just lacking quality to work with Hazard. Whatever the fuck you want to call that point. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. Alright guys, so really I just wanted to voice that stuff about how I feel Chelsea could play better differently without Hazard, and how it might help the team better. Maybe even team spirit. Hazard's a lovely guy and an amazing talented footballer, and he's proper Chelsea, and he always will be. But there was that element of the individual in the team, and that always stood out. If Chelsea can perform better as a whole now, that will benefit the whole team moving forwards. in certain ways. Again, he is a loss, and everyone will miss Eden Hazard and be thankful for his time there. I'm just looking at the positives, and they do exist. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did enjoy it, please like the video, comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'm always there chatting to you guys, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, so I'd be really pleased if you did that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm really happy with the amount of traction I've got. Thank you so much to all you guys who are enjoying my content. If you think you know some people that might enjoy it, why not tell your mates? That will help me out a lot. Got nothing else to say really, so enjoy the football and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.